We often tell stories of heroes who never fail, men of perfect faith, flawless character, and unblemished victory. But what if the greatest hero in history was also its greatest failure? What if the man given supernatural strength by God was the one who abused it most? This is the story of Samson, the man who tore a lion apart with his bare hands, the man who killed 1,000 soldiers with the jawbone of a donkey. But before his final act, he was also the man who lost his power, his freedom, and his sight, all because of his own reckless choices. Have you ever wondered what it takes for a hero, utterly disgraced and blind, to find the strength for one last impossible feat? Today, we dive into Judges chapter 16, the dark, final chapter of a champion. This is not the story of Samson the strong man. This is the story of Samson the broken slave, seeking a single, terrible moment of reckoning. The descent, disgrace, and blindness. Judges 16:18, 2:1. The world Samson lived in was one of chaos. He was called by God to be a Nazirite set apart, never to cut his hair, never to drink wine, never to touch a dead body. His long, uncut hair was not the source of his strength, but the sign of his covenant with God. He broke every single one of those vows, driven by arrogance and desire. His fall began with Delilah. She relentlessly pressed him, asking where his great strength lay, until his soul was vexed unto death. Judges 16:16. He finally revealed his secret. If his hair were cut, then shall my strength go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. Judges 16:17. And the moment the 7 locks of his hair were shaved, the most terrifying thing happened. He wist not that the Lord was departed from him. Judges 16:20. His strength was gone, and the Philistines descended. They took him, they bound him with shackles, and in the ultimate act of humiliation, the Philistines took him and put out his eyes. Judges 16:21. The great judge, the destroyer of Philistine armies, was reduced to a blind slave, grinding grain in a prison house. His hair, the sign of his lost covenant, began to grow back, slowly, unnoticed. The Philistines, the eternal enemies of Israel, decide to throw the biggest party of the century to celebrate their victory over the mighty Samson. They believed their god, Dagon, a half-fish, half-man deity, had delivered the powerful Samson into their hands. The venue for this triumph was the Temple of Dagon, a massive structure in the city of Gaza. Now the lords of the Philistines gathered together to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god, and to rejoice, for they said, "Our God has delivered Samson our enemy into our hand." The temple was packed. The roof alone was estimated to hold 3,000 men and women. The lords and nobles of the Philistine nation were all there, celebrating the utter defeat of the God of Israel, represented by the defeated Samson. In the midst of the feasting and the sacrificing, they called for the main event. "Bring Samson out, that he may amuse us." A servant brought the blind Samson from the prison. This once proud, magnificent warrior was now a broken mockery, forced to perform for the people who had blinded and enslaved him. Imagine the sounds, the mocking laughter, the taunts, the scraping of his feet on the stone floor. This was his lowest point, a moment of profound, public shame. Samson's body was weak, but his spirit, perhaps for the first time in his life, was clear. He had nothing left to lose. He knew his mistakes, and he knew his purpose. He spoke to the boy leading him. "Please let me feel the pillars on which the house rests, that I may lean against them." The boy, likely thinking the great Samson was simply tired, led him to the 2 central pillars that bore the weight of the entire roof, where the 3,000 spectators were cheering. Then, Samson spoke his final, desperate prayer to the Lord. It was a prayer not for rescue, but for vengeance and remembrance. "O Lord God, please remember me and please strengthen me only this once, O God, that I may be avenged upon the Philistines for my 2 eyes." Notice the language. Strengthen me only this once. Samson understood this was the end of his story. He was trading his life for one final, covenant-fulfilling act. He was ready to pay the ultimate price to deliver Israel from its oppressors and silence the blasphemy against his God. Samson braced himself against the 2 pillars, one hand on each, the central support of the entire temple. And then he put his shoulder into it. The full power of the Nazirite covenant, the divine strength he had squandered and then repented for, surged through his massive, scarred frame one last time. And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars upon which the house stood and leaned upon them, the one with his right hand and the other with his left. He didn't just push, he cried out, "Let me die with the Philistines," Judges 16:30. And then, with a force that defies physics, he bowed himself. The pillars groaned, the stones screamed, and with a sound that would echo through history, the massive roof, packed with 3,000 enemies of Israel, came crashing down. The scripture's chilling conclusion to his life is a testament to the power of his final moment. So the dead whom he killed at his death were more than those whom he had killed during his life. Samson's story is the most dramatic account of a flawed hero's redemption. He proved that even when you are broken, blinded, and humiliated, if you turn back to your original purpose and commit your final moments to a higher power, you can achieve your greatest impact. He failed his entire life, but his final moment was the perfect victory. It was a victory achieved in defeat, demonstrating that God can use anyone, even the most flawed among us, for his greatest purpose. This story forces us to ask, are we so ashamed of our past failures that we forget we still have one more move left? Are we too proud to pray for strength only this once? His life was chaos, but his ending was a covenant fulfilled.